Live from Beverly Hills, California, please welcome the president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Janet Yang.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Oscars nominations announcement. It is so exciting to be back live once again to kick off the official countdown to the 95th Oscars on March 12th.
You're going to want to hear the whole story.
Nick Cage.
This is really, really bad.
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
All right, when's the murder mystery start?
What?
Play double time.
You have two paths.
On vengeance.
You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior.
Here we go. The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction. Maybe so, sir. But not today.
And camera.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Friday, January 27th, 2023, and you're listening to a very special episode of the Can I Say Something podcast. On this alert episode, we'll be going over the fine-tooth comb, the Oscar nominations that were announced Tuesday morning at 8:30 in the a.m. East Coast time. Derek, did you wake up? Were you staying up, or did you wake up early to watch the nominations, or you slept like a baby and found them later in the afternoon?
Yeah, I slept like a baby. I was not gonna get up at 5:30 in the morning to,
Right.
in the time where they announced them, and also where I live, which is California time, Pacific time, I should say. So
Right.
yeah, no, I was like, I was up kind of late that night, because I didn't work until like 1 the next day. But I might have stayed if I had the day off the next day. I would have probably considered it, but no.
Yeah. I work overnight, so that was like my almost going to bed time. I was like, that was late. That would have been my just getting home from work time, so that was fine for me. So Tuesday, nominations were announced by Riz Ahmed and Allison Williams. The ceremony this year will be hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. They didn't have a host last couple of years, so that'll be nice. What do you think? Do you think that needs a host? Do you have strong, passionate feelings about whether?
I don't care.
Yeah,
Didn't they have one last year? I thought because I know they did it in 2019 and 2020, but I thought 21, but I thought they brought one back last year.
They might have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So they announced it. I watched the whole thing. It was pretty fun. So let's just get your temperature on the whole thing right off the bat.
Yeah.
It
was pretty great. I did watch some clips. It was pretty great to hear Riz Ahmed say "My year of dicks." That was
my year of dicks. Yeah, that was the joke I was about to go into. Yeah, exactly.
Cut you right off.
Yeah.
My year of dicks. And an ostrich told me the world is fake, and I think I believe it.
No comment. Here are the nominees.
So overall, were you surprised at the overall nominations of Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, the big ones? Did you come away from it more surprised or more angry? What were your feelings about it overall?
Overall, there's always going to be a couple things that you don't agree with, but overall, I thought it was pretty solid. I think I mentioned my list. and I called 8 out of 10 of them. I really should have gone with When Talking Said As She Said. That was a blunder, but yeah, no, I think it was like a fairly, like, we knew a lot of the stuff going in, and it ended up being a lot of the right calls. It's like, okay, the people who for the most part deserve to get nominated, the movies that deserve to get nominated did. A lot of movies came out that I really enjoyed last year, and a lot of those movies got nominated, and I'm glad that this year we are finally getting what we've been clamoring for, is like movies that people actually like are getting nominated for Best Picture. Movies that made money and people saw. I mean, still no Marvel movies. This wouldn't have been the year for that. But yeah, it's good to see that. Oh yeah, people were going to the movies and seeing things like Top Gun and Avatar and Everything Everywhere. And even Elvis, which is a movie that is bad, but still, I'm glad these movies are getting nominated that people actually enjoyed.
Yes, exactly. I agree. That's a good thing. To bring the eyeballs to the screen, to put butts in seats. That is something they should be doing. I do agree with that. I think they did a thing that they probably, I don't know, will probably scare off some people. That we'll talk about that later. Let's just get into the broad strokes of it before we get too granular. The most nominations, Everything Everywhere All at Once had 11, so that means it can only tie for most wins of all time.
It can't though, because it's got two nominations in the same category.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so because both, you can't win Best Supporting Actor twice, so it can only win 10. It cannot, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yes, the most all time being Titanic, Ben-Hur, and Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, which had 11. Titanic had 14 nominations, which I believe tied for the most. But then second place was Banshees of Inisherin with 9. All Quiet on the Western Front had 9. Elvis had 8. Gun Maverick had 6. Black Panther 2 had 5. And Avatar had 4. Avatar 2 had 4. So that's all those nominations there. So let's get to the big one, the snubs. The big snub of the day was definitely Nope. Like, just really? You had such a chance here. The Academy did. The Academy had such a chance to put in, a person of color for director, movie of color for the Best Picture. You have, just so many things. Cinematography, none for that, really. None for special effects. None for supporting actress. Just crazy. What do you think on that?
I mean, I think Nope definitely should have got some nominations. They probably they didn't really campaign too much, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think that really hurt them. It being a summer release, I think hurt them. Although there were some movies that came out earlier than it that did very well.
Right.
But for me, I think the biggest snub was Decision to Leave. That not even getting nominated for Best Foreign Film is insane to me. Not getting nominated for Best Cinematography is wild, because if you look at the cinematography of that movie, it is absolutely mind-melting.
Right.
So that not getting any nominations, and then the other big snub I think is Viola not getting nominated, giving once again, it's another late summer movie, came out in September. But yeah, I think she was incredible in The Woman King, which is a movie that I overall had a few issues with, but I think that her performance was phenomenal, and her to not be nominated, I think, is a real shame.
Yes. So just going over some of the other ones, just in terms of people of color not nominated, right? Like you said, Woman King completely stumped. Danielle Deadweiler for Till, which is a movie unfortunately I haven't seen yet, but that was a big snub there. SS Rajamouli and RR was only nominated for the best song, Natu Natu. So that was a big snub there for diversity. If you want that in there, then that's one you could put in there. And then just talking about, again, snubs in terms of minority women. You had no nominations for women this year. You had, wins for the past couple of years with Chloe Zhao winning for Best Director and movie won Best Picture, I believe, right? The Nomadland. Was that? Yeah.
Then, they also won. I forget who it was, but there was another female director who won last year. And
yes,
and we kind of knew who the four of the directors were going to be. We knew that it was going to be old Stevie Spielberg, the Daniels, Martin McDonagh, and I'm forgetting who else, but there was one spot open, and people were like, "Oh, is it going to be a woman? Is it going to be?
Yeah.
Is it going to be James Cameron? Who's it going to be? And just kind
that
of
was
it
big.
being, not to
Ruben
take
Östlund.
anything away from, but yeah, Roman Östlund. Yeah, so. Kind of a disappointment. Oh, Todd Field, that's the one I was forgetting for Tar. Like everybody
Yes.
knew he was going to get nominated.
Yes.
But yeah, I think a lot of people were, as you were saying, hoping for a female director, and specifically, I think a lot of people were putting their hopes for Women Talking, getting that director's nom. But
Yes.
didn't play out that way, I'm afraid.
Yes. So yeah, the Best Picture nominations were. I've seen almost all of them. just talking about, since you mentioned Woman Talking, I just want to mention that's the only Best Picture nominated movie I haven't seen. I was like, I got this. And the past couple of years, I'm like, I'm going to go into this. I'm going to see all the things that are probably going to nominate. I was like, all right, great. Then went down the list. I was like, 8 out of 10, saw them. 9 out of 9, saw them. Then they're like, Woman Talking. God damn it. Just that one last one I got to see. But yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm seeing that tonight after we record in a couple hours, and then I still need to see Triangle of Sadness, but I've seen the other 8.
Yes. So just a couple more snubs, and then let's just sort of go through them. No Triangle of Sadness, no RRR, no Digital Lead, like we said, an international feature. Some people were talking about Brad Pitt maybe being nominated for Babylon. I haven't seen Babylon yet, but that seemed like a snub for a lot of people. No nomination for Paul Dano for The Fabelmans. That was a big miss in my eyes.
Hirsch stole it from him when he. Paul Dano had a very subdued, interesting performance, and Judd Hirsch had a very you gotta have just listen here, little Steven Spielberg. I mean, Sammy Fabelman, you gotta have and he had that one scene where he came and chewed the scenery, and the Oscars love that kind of shit. So.
Yes. So yeah, I agree. Any other snubs that I don't have written down here that you feel strongly about?
I mean, not really. I think that maybe production design, that Top Gun really should have got a production design Oscar. Yeah. I think it did get snubbed, which is kind of insane and ridiculous to me. I would have liked to have seen the Henry Selick film, his first film since 2009, Wendell and Wild, get nominated for Best Animated.
That's true.
But I don't know if I'd call that a snub, because I don't know what you kick out, because it was such a really stellar year for nomination. Other than it made my top 10. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, but I'm like, is that an animated movie? Like, I guess so. Technically, kind of
right.
It's live action with animated characters at the center of it, so I guess that counts. But I don't know. I would have really liked to see, because Selick is someone I'm a really, really big fan of, and him teaming up with Key and Peele is really cool. So yeah, I mean, there's always some personal favorites that I know, that you're never going to get nominated. I think Hong Chow basically got nominated for The Menu when she actually got nominated for The Whale.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm mostly happy with. Oh, you know what? It's one. Yes. It's a snub, but it was a snub we knew was coming because it didn't even make the shortlist. But the Batman for original score, that's just kind of ridiculous that didn't get at least on the shortlist or a nomination. That's kind of infuriating. But yeah,
right, you're right. Yeah, I'm just going through the list when you said Batman. I was like, did he get cinematography? Nope, didn't get cinematography either. Didn't get anything. Yeah, not original score. Yeah, ridiculous. So just for posterity's sake, I'm just going to say the Best Picture real quick. All Quiet on the Western Front was the one we mentioned getting in there that took that foreign language spot. Avatar: The Way.
Call that.
Yep, you did. Avatar: The Way of Water was the big blockbuster that got in there. Banshees of Inisherin was a lock. Elvis was kind of a lock. Everything Everywhere was a lock. Fabelmans was. Tar was. Gun Maverick also got in there, like we said on the episode before that. Was probably going to get in there with Avatar, which pushed out, like we said, Black Panther. Even though Black Panther didn't perform as well or didn't get as well, critics didn't get as good of a rating from the critics as the first one did. So that's probably why that got pushed out. And then Triangle of Sadness was the one I said was probably going to slide in there for Best Picture. But then the one I don't think anyone really talked about. I think us or anybody else really said Women Talking is in the 10th spot there.
Yeah, that was because I said there's going to be a wild card, and I
Yeah.
picked it as she said. I picked it as something that was, it's going to be something. They always feel like the Oscars try to be a little progressive, and they're like, oh, see, we put in one movie about women, so I just picked the wrong one.
yeah, exactly. And then Best Actor, kind of the lock, kind of no surprises there. Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for Banshees, Brendan Fraser got in for The Whale, which is nice to see. Then Paul Mescal was the big surprise here. One of the themes of the Oscars that I've sort of heard and sort of noticed, and a lot of people are talking about, is a lot of the first-time nominations coming in this year, which Paul Mescal being there, Colin Farrell being in there, Austin Butler being there, I believe Brendan Fraser as well, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Nighy's that's his first Best Actor
They're all
nomination.
first-time nominees, yeah.
Yes, all first-time nominees, which is nice to see. Then for Best Actress, we got, of course, Cate Blanchett for Tar. Ana de Armas was the wild card there. It's like, oof, okay, not a great movie, but the most performance.
I'm a fan of hers. I like her a lot. Like they were saying, I can't remember what I was listening to one of the Ringer podcasts today, and they were like, yeah, if she had gotten nominated for her performance in No Time to Die, I'd have been all for it. She was great in that movie. She was the best part of that movie. Blonde is an irredeemable piece of shit. And like I like Ana de Armas a lot, but like that movie's really fucking bad. So like she should not have been we should have gotten Viola Davis in this category, like in that slot for sure.
Absolutely. And then the one I mentioned in the last pod about having this sort of AstroTurf campaign, Andrew Riceborough got in for To Leslie, which is interesting. One of the few. Yeah. One of the few movies I have yet to see again. So that was not cool.
No one's seen it. So I don't even think the people who voted for this have seen this. They just saw that Brad Pitt or whoever tweeted about how good she was. They're like, I guess we got to nominate her, which whatever. Like, I mean, I guess it's no different than, what they've been doing, which is just like they taking Harvey Weinstein's method of just like paying the Academy members and taking them to private screenings. That's become the norm now. So now it's just, we'll just use Twitter instead of, instead of private parties, we'll just get our famous friends to tweet about it. And whatever, it's the same.
Exactly. And then rounding out the category, Michelle Williams, of course, for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is pretty great. First time nomination for Michelle Yeoh, so that's pretty great. And then Best Supporting Actor, another, I believe, first time nominations for Ki-hee Kwan, Barry Keoghan, then Judd Hirsch maybe was.
He was nominated 40 years ago.
Was he? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Was it?
Oh my god! It's one of those like 70s movies that you hear. You're like, oh, I've never seen that, but I should watch it.
Yes, exactly. I think they were talking about this on the Vanity Fair Goldman podcast. Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, which I believe I think you still need to catch up with, correct?
I do need to see that one, yeah.
And then, of course, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, which is probably the front runner. Or no, actually, what am I talking about? Ki-hee Kwan is front runner.
Yeah, he's got this locked up.
Yes.
Like
yes.
They already mailed him the award,
That'll be the big surprise of the night if Ki-hee doesn't win that. And then Best Supporting.
He's just going to go up on stage and slap somebody, and people are going to be like, oh, this is ugly.
Best Supporting. This is an interesting category because they were talking about how Stephanie Hsu was born the same year that Angela Bassett was nominated for the last time for playing not Tina Turner. Was it Tina Turner in 92? I think so. So that was interesting. And then, like you said, Hong Chow, first nomination there for The Whale. Barry Condon for Banshees of Inisherin, and Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere, which might, again, split the vote there between her and Stephanie Hsu.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis it's like a courtesy, like we have never nominated this person and they're iconic, so we should nominate them in this movie.
Yes, exactly. Then, just going through the categories, we went, I talked about some of the surprises. Paul Mescal for Aftersun, which is nice that he got in there. Rupen Östlund was nice, surprised that he was nominated for directing Triangle of Sadness. And then, like you said, the best short film, My Year of Dicks, which got a laugh out of everyone. Do you ever watch any of the shorts? Because I never have. Traditionally,
I don't. Like, I know there's always like they do the screenings where you can like go see all the shorts at once, and it's like a movie ticket. I might do it this time if it's included in the AMC stubs. Sometimes they charge extra for special screenings like that. So,
Yeah.
so if I can see it, I'll try and see it. The thing.
Yeah, speaking of things, usually try to see all of. I saw Fire of Love for Best Documentary Feature, and I saw Navalny. I've heard that All of the Beauty and the Bloodshed is getting a lot of good reviews. I've heard, Sean Fennessy and everybody that does, podcasting about movies talk about how great it is, so I probably will check that out. Seems like the front runner there I think I would recommend Navalny. That was pretty great. I think I talked about it earlier in the year, so yeah, pretty good category there, right?
Yeah, no, I think I've only seen of these ones. I do really want to see Navalny. I loved Fire of Love. I actually just rewatched it last night. I think it's one of the that's my pick. I know I haven't seen the other ones, but I really really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other surprises? Any other? Ooh, I'm glad that person got in there for you.
Well, I think it's like some of the stuff that we're like, ooh, good for this person, are things we knew were going to happen. Things like Brendan Fraser and Colin Farrell getting their first time noms, Kwan. So it's stuff that if you would have told me, or Top Gun getting nominated for a lot of stuff. There's stuff like if you would have told me at the beginning of 2020 this was happening, you'd be like, wow, that's amazing. But now it's like we've known this was going to happen for months.
Right. So that's about it. All we have here on the outline. But I did want to talk about, movies that should have won. And David Chen did a TikTok the other day, maybe it was today, talking about how, movies that win Best Picture have sort of a stigma attached to them where, it's sort of like the Academy is holding this movie up and saying, look at this movie. It's the best one this year. Out of all these other ones, it is the best. So you should like it. So it has that sort of stigma attached to it. But, I still go back to Parasite. I think Parasite is one of the best movies of the last 20 years. Definitely deserves to win. And I don't think it has that stigma that a lot of these movies that do end up winning have of like, oh, you chose, I'm just going through the list here from IndieWire where they talked about, movies that have won and movies that should have won. Ordinary People won over Raging Bull. Of course, that's terrible. Terrible decision. There's some controversial here.
Ordinary People, that's what Judd Hirsch was nominated for. Sorry.
That was the one? That was it? Nice.
That was the one.
I just picked that one out at random. When I sent you the list, you were like, ooh, don't agree with a lot of these.
Yeah. There's some picks on there that I'm like, you know what, man? Fuck it, Boyhood. I'm so tired of hearing about how Boyhood should have beat Birdman.
Yeah?
Like, Boyhood's a bad movie. I'm so just like, okay, I get it. I get it. It took 12 years. I'm so bored by that fucking movie.
I don't know. I think they both have a certain level of pretentiousness to them, right? Because one is like, we're talking about movies.
Yeah, they're both pretentious.
Yeah.
I probably would have picked something else. What was that, 2015? I don't even know what else was in the running that year.
We can look it up real
Or the
quick.
2015 Oscars, I guess. So that would have been for 2014.
So we got American Sniper. They gave me a 7.3. No, thank you. Selma, 7.5, a movie I haven't seen. The Theory of Everything, 7.7 they gave on Screen Rant. Probably not, right?
I don't think I've seen most of these movies, to be honest.
Right. Birdman.
These all seem very boring and pretentious.
And Boyhood and The Imitation Game. We got then...
Yeah, I think only one of those I've seen is Birdman and Boyhood, and yeah, because... Hold on.
You didn't see Whiplash?
Oh, I saw Whiplash. Oh, Whiplash should have won. Whiplash is amazing.
Okay.
Whiplash is so good.
One more to throw in there. The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, I like that a lot, but it's Whiplash.
Whiplash, yes. Yes.
Whiplash should have won that year.
That's what Screen Rant agreed. Yeah, Screen Rant said that as well. Yeah. So yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I try to put my mind in like next year of being like thinking back on it, but like, was that the best movie of the year, and does it still hold up, and does it have this weird stigma of winning, and does it matter? And I'm thinking, no, it doesn't. I think this will be the Parasite of this year. This will be like the No Country of this year. I think those movies I just mentioned hold up very well, and they don't, they won the Best Picture, yes, because they were the best one of that year. Some people could say, Sean Fennessy would probably say, There Will Be Blood probably should have won over No Country, but in my mind, it's still a great movie and still holds up. What do you think about?
Yeah, like Spotlight, I think is really. If people are always like, "Oh, Mad Max should have won," and I'm like, "Yeah, probably," but Spotlight's also a really good movie. Like, I'm not mad that Spotlight won that year.
Right, and nobody should be mad about that. They have some weird pick. Obviously, most recently, Green Book winning was like the what the fuck is that movie? Why did that thing win?
Call. That's a bad call.
That one's a bad call. They said IndieWire said Roma should have won that year. I think that was also the year of The Revenant, which it's fine. It's fine, one of those, but maybe should have gone to that. What do you think about Shape of Water? What is your take? What is your take on Shape of Water?
I like Shape of Water. I do like Shape of Water. What are they saying that should have won over Shape of Water?
Get Out.
Oh, that's that's probably right. Actually, that's tough. Yeah. I love Shape of Water, but Get Out is a masterpiece.
Right. What is your feelings on Argo? Argo, fuck yourself.
I like Argo. Argo was my favorite of the It was my favorite of the nominees that year. What are they saying should have been in Argo?
Amor.
No. Get out of here.
I have a good one.
Pretentious.
Yes.
This is a pretentious ass list. I'm looking over this list and I'm just like,
all right. What about, now this is a movie I saw recently because I was catching up with, some 2010 Oscar winners. The Artist won in 2011, I believe 2012, 2011. It won over Tree of Life.
No, I do not like The Artist. I do not like that movie.
Yes.
That is always one I point to of like, hey, this is super forgettable.
Yes.
Like, that's when I'm just like, oh, guess what? The Oscars don't matter. And you know what? I'm honestly, at first I was upset when the whole La La Land Moonlight thing happened because I like Moonlight. I wanted to like it more going in. I was really expecting it to move me a lot more than it did.
Yes.
And La La Land I thought was a perfect film. Just like I love Whiplash. I'm a huge Damien Chazelle fan, and I love La La Land. And then when it lost in such a memorable way, I was really upset. But I was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of glad that La La Land lost because now it's just a movie that I like, and it doesn't have to be like a movie that gets remembered as the movie that unfairly beat La La Land for the rest of, or that beat Moonlight for the rest of time. Because that's what it would be if it had, because it was the front runner. If it had, stayed and actually won Best Picture. And that's what people just remember. People are like, oh my gosh, can you believe that La La Land? It'd be like people talk about Forrest Gump. Like Forrest Gump is a terrible movie. I'm like, no, Forrest Gump is fine. It's not as good as Pulp Fiction or like half the movies that came out in 1992, which was a great year. But like, just pump the brakes, all right? Just stop hating on Forrest Gump, and that's why I'm kind of glad that La La Land lost because I would be so tired of that rhetoric. But and you're also, by the way,
yes,
you I like how you just like assumed in your speech early on that you're like, yeah, everything everywhere is just gonna win and get remembered. I'm like, you don't know it's gonna win. Like we're pretty early. Yeah, like it's close between that and Banshees, and I think Fabelmans is up there too, especially with the ranked voting. And then you never know, something like Tar could always make a push. Like, where was Coda at right now? A year ago, Coda was not on anybody's radar to win Best Picture, and it had that late surge. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the like you said, rank voting is a thing. Also, I just heard on a podcast that what they basically do is for Best Actor, I think it's like just actors vote on that, and then for Best Picture, it's like everybody, it's directors, it's editors, anybody in the guild will vote on that. So we also have to put that into consideration when talking about what might win for Best Picture.
And I think Fabelmans is going to get a lot of number 2 votes. Honestly, I don't think people are going to there's not going to be as many number 1 votes as a lot of things, but I think a lot of people are going to put like Everything Everywhere at number 1 or Banshees at number 1. But then those, 2 different people will probably both put Fabelmans at number 2 or 3. And they'll put down the one they don't want to win lower on the list. So it's going to hurt them. So, I think that is, I heard somebody on YouTube, I can't remember who's giving credence to that theory. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, exactly.
As long as Elvis doesn't win, though.
Yeah, that'd be like, so what the fuck? And then one more thing before we get out of here, I was alluding to at the very beginning when you were talking about, putting a lot of general audience favorites in the Best Picture category. I agree. Good idea. I am for it. I think it will bring butts and seats. But what they're doing this year is they're going to present live all of the categories, and you're like, okay, at first, what's my problem with it? You are forefronting, you are spotlighting some lesser categories that usually go unseen, on broadcast. Those people deserve attention. They deserve to be celebrated. And I totally agree. However, what that's going to do, what's it going to do, right? It's going to push the broadcast to like 3.5 hours to 4 hours to 4.5 hours. I think the length of the time of these things is one of those things that sort of, scares people away, right?
And I mean, I went off last year about how pissed I was that they were cutting the trades out of the ceremony. So
yes,
I'm going to be consistent here and just be happy that it's back in. I will take that a longer ceremony over the alternative.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very split on that decision. It's something that obviously they like I said, and you said, they deserve as much recognition as they can get. You don't make a movie without those people, without the editing, without the sound, without the other lesser categories. They just don't get made. They do deserve recognition, but maybe start it earlier. I don't know, start it like 7 p.m. our time, because you started at 8:30 with commercials, with the skits. I mean, first of all, let's just go into that real quick. Cut out the skits, cut out the montages. I love movies, you love movies, we all love movies, yada yada yada. No montages. I feel like we've seen the same 7 montages over the past 15 years of remember movies, guys, remember musicals, remember gangster movies, blah blah blah, this whole thing. Okay, cut all that out. I'm here
yeah, I'm not
for
a
the
fan
numbers.
Of a lot of those.
Yeah, I'm here for the numbers. I'm here for the wins. I'm here for the speeches. Speeches are the big thing. Give people more time. Again, talking about time, talking about how to present these things. Cut out the skits. Cut out all the funny gags and all that stuff. Let people. If you want to celebrate movies, you want to celebrate people, you want to celebrate the craft of movie making. Let people talk. That's a good way of doing it, right?
Yeah. Although I'm not on board with you saying start it at 7 Eastern time, because I mean it starts 4 o'clock.
Oh no, sorry, I meant 7 your time. 7 your time.
Oh, okay. I was that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, just push it back an hour. You started at 8 Eastern. Doesn't get over till midnight over here. People are I don't know what won last night because I was in bed by 8:30. All right, I think we did it. I think we went over everything with a fine-tooth comb. Very excited. One of my first times doing reaction podcast to the Oscar nominations. Yep. Yep. So thank you for joining me for this. It was a load of fun. Yeah,
good stuff.
Very good stuff. So you can catch me on the internets, all those places, at Bicycle, on Twitter, at Bicycle, on gmail.com. Catch me at damien.sherman.medium.com over there on my blog. I don't have it written down, so that's why I'm trudging through it. Derek, you have the Underrated podcast, right? You just put out a podcast this week, correct?
Yes, we did. We just did an episode on The Thief and the Cobbler, the unfinished Richard Williams masterpiece. The unfinished but kind of finished, but mostly actually unfinished masterpiece of animation. We had a lot of fun talking about that one.
Nice, very cool. All right, so for this very special late breaking news, can I say something? I've been Damien.
And I've been Derek.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.